Guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it so that people can make comments. And for some reason, it's disabled my comments. But hold on a second. Okay. Let me see. Allow comments. I want to allow comments, guys. This is usually so much easier when I do the little comments should be on. Moderation none. Basic hold no. Don't hold any comments. Um, I don't go live enough, so I don't get a whole lot of viewers anyway. Um, I mean, maybe in the future I will. Maybe if I dress up better, I will, or something. Dress up and put on hair, makeup. I'm older, so I'm not as young and cute, you know, perky, whatever. So, but yeah, what we were going to talk about, continue talking about. Why does it say chat is disabled? I don't know, guys. I guess just comment in the Twitter feed. This Twitter's the only one I went live on right now. So maybe I can share it. Oh, you know what I can do? I can share it in maybe some other places. I don't know about Facebook. I guess I could. I guess I could share on Facebook. I don't know. A lot of my friends on Facebook are grandparents or whatever. Okay, you see, I can go public. Um, I was trying to figure out how to go live on Instagram, but for some reason I haven't figured that out yet. So I guess maybe you can comment in Twitter X or Facebook. But uh, but anyway, back to the streaming. Maybe that's been fixed, but you should be able to post on. You should be able to use the chat box, but for some reason, like I said, I've been doing YouTube videos for a long time, but I usually just, you know, usually just, you know what I do if you watch me. But I just make the clips on my iPad or my phone and then post them. But today I just thought I'd have it up there for a little bit. I did one a little bit earlier and for just a few minutes to test out. I'm using my microphone today that I use when I'm doing my voiceover auditions. But basically, we're going to talk about how you feel. It's not going to work if I can't get my chat box up. Usually, my chat box usually works for other things when I post my clips. Maybe later, I don't know. But basically, maybe I don't know if I can edit this and make it allow it. Restrictions none. I don't know why it's not letting playlist. Well, anyway, we were going to talk about the fact that there's 60 to 65% of the population or more now is single, divorced, widowed, or never married, or I guess it's all inclusive. And it got worse with the pandemic and the economic factors of the world and the whole world situation and just so much stuff. Um, it just really affected the entire thing. So it's probably could even be higher than that now. Of course, if you watch ads, and sometimes I still try to audition for ads at my age. They all the ads are for like older people. Well, which I am older, but I don't you know whatever it's like for like what is it? The old Geritol commercials, or Depends. My cat wants to be in it. Austin, no, get over here. This is another reason I forgot why I don't always go live. But yeah, just if you want to share it, I guess you could share it in your Facebook or um, in the Twitter X, or just a conversation. basically the fact that, our world is kind of lopsided right now. Everything's promoted to be like the perfect family, whatever, and yet in reality, it's life isn't like that. I mean, if you watch a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of people are living out of their cars or in storage bins or whatever. Which I can see why they'd want to because it's a lot cheaper. I've put stuff in storage before when I've moved, but anyway, I wanted to be thankful that I have a place right now that's. But at least I'm used to being a little spoiled because I'm used to having an apartment with at least a dishwasher and sometimes even a washer dryer. But I'm in the process of getting back into work and everything. And if you don't have a husband or kids or grandkids, I mean, and you don't have really like entertainment money. Oh no, my cat's fixing to end the stream. Well, maybe. Okay, we're back. We're back, guys. And I look so horrible. Maybe I'll go get my makeup and I could be putting my makeup on while we're talking. I don't know if you could still hear me. I guess you can, even if the microphone is external. This is just so that I can hear myself. Yeah, my cat disconnected it and the topic of the today, couple topics that I was bringing up, but people could talk about whatever, if you're on here, talk about whatever you want to talk about and ask me questions. And if anybody's, younger or older or whatever, and because I was in all these different jobs and careers quite a while, you can ask me about all of them. There is no magic formula. Although some people do get it right. They pick one job or career and they love it and they do the same thing all their life. I've always been a creative person. I get very bored. I like different things. I like creating things. And I guess I really should be working more on writing too. But I do work on it some. But I like to acting and improv and funny things. And so I've done some videos. I'll make some more skits up about being Celery Queen Jean, and I did Ollie Ostrich and um, different little characters I'm trying to make. No, my cat is trying to do this again. No, Austin, you are not going to ruin it again. No, he used to be such more of an indoor outdoor cat, but as he's gotten older, he's gotten so fascinated with. No, he thinks everything's more interesting indoors now. So, which is so weird. We have to end it again unless I can. No, Austin. I'll just hold it like this, I guess. No, Austin. No. Okay. So the topics of today was that I was thinking about talking about is 60 to 65% of the population is single, divorced, never married, widowed, whatever. And a lot of people don't have kids either, grandkids. It's more than what you think. And social media makes it hard for people because not me. I never. Oh, well, I do get upset about. No, I don't. It doesn't. As you get older, it doesn't bother you as much. But you think, oh wow, everybody else has got a bunch of kids, grandkids. Keeps them busier. And so for me, um, when I'm not busy, like having fun or in a relationship, it's like work is my too because I used to be almost like a workaholic. I still kind of am, although I'm hardly making any money. But I'm trying to do a lot of things that are not easy. You've heard me say, there's 1.7 million actors on the planet, and about 150 or 160,000 of us are in SAG-AFTRA, and then of that amount, only a very small percentage actually make a full-time living doing that. What's my cat doing that now? Ow! Austin, oh my God, he wants to play with that. Ow, my goodness. Here, play with that. So he's so get so crazy. Okay, so basically, I guess people got tired of trying to find me out here. Let me see if I can put something in the chat box just to test it. Hi, everybody. Okay, at least I got my chat box back up. So I need to stream more on the other platforms. I wanted. Oh, there we go. Oh my God. Okay. Next time he'll be in the other room. Okay. Yes, go down there. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so that was a big subject. And then also the fact that most people, or a good percentage of people nowadays, regardless of your age or if you're retired, are looking for side hustles and ways to make extra money, you know. And a lot of it is the financial thing, but then, if we're used to going out having more fun and having more money, and then if we no longer have like a budget for fun, we're having to really be creative and figure out more ways to make money and do things. And so that's a big issue for people, you know. And so those are two big challenges that we're having to face. I'm watching, sometimes when I take my breaks, I watch a lot of videos on YouTube, and not just the whole political thing. And I think it's good that we're getting out of all these wars. I think that's marvelous. And like I said, I'm an independent moderate right in the middle, and I have friends from one extreme to the other, but not too extreme. I lean conservative, but I'm kind of a little more liberal but I'm really in the middle. I'm really, I'm a former newspaper reporter, editor, and an insurance agent, and it all depends on when you do get called to jury duty. They tend to call you if really, sometimes I got out of jury duty because when I was in the news business, they would assume I would be too liberal. This was years ago, my 20s. And then in my 30s and 40s, when I was more active in insurance, I've done that on and off since, along with the acting and the substitute teaching and all the other things. Um, then they would assume that a lot of insurance agents are more conservative. So sometimes if they think you're too conservative, they don't always want you in the jury either. But oh gosh, I'll have to call for jury duty now because now I'm more like independent, moderate in the middle. They like more neutral people on juries. I mean, this is explained to me. I even worked in a law office. I worked for an attorney at one point. So he was a very interesting person. He had a big sign up on his wall that divorce is better than MURDER, whatever. So it's like, okay. So anyway, when I was going through mine, I ran into him at a happy hour actually, and but I knew him. He knew my one of my ex fiancées that I didn't end up marrying, and then I ended up engaged and married another guy that I met in the news business. And okay, so he was able to help me and give me some advice and all that. So no children, no property. It's usually pretty simple. So this was years ago. So, but yeah, we're talking about relationships, and you know, it was got so hard to go out and meet people during the pandemic, and then that's when I had all those Brad Pitt imposters after me, and um, because I was online too much, and I was, online a lot. Because I had just moved back out to Hollywood to really make a go of things, and had a new agent and different things going on, and and so the next thing you know, the pandemic hit, and then I had to come back to Texas during that, and then they had the actor strike, the writer strike, the all the different things, and always have kind of a tough time out in LA anyway, with between the fires and they have a lot of big homeless problem, and people that are out there. Nobody likes to. Well, a lot of people don't want to discuss it, but a lot of people, feel like, oh my God, I feel like I have to make more money or have more roommates or, live with someone or something because everybody fears homelessness, But now it's like people fear that everywhere now. I mean, a lot of people are living in, you know, um, their cars or their units, storage bins or whatever. But basically, when I was out there, it was a little nerve wracking to see all that. Different times I lived out there, but I really did enjoy it, and it's nice to go to the beach. And it's too bad that they've had so many problems out there, but hopefully they can resolve all of them. And oh my God, cat is finally settled. So real. Okay, so maybe I should share this out to Twitter again. And I feel more comfortable on Twitter because, like I said, as an independent moderate, I don't feel like it's judged because a lot of people are not even watching me because I'm not like a, I'm not a movie star. I'm not a far left person, and I'm not even a far right person. So I'm more in the middle. I kind of can see both sides of the coin, and I'm really try to look at things more from a common sense standpoint. But I am happy that we're out of a lot of these wars and everything, and I hope that the economy gets better. Um, it is tough with the food prices, but I personally need to lose about 35 pounds. But so it does kind of help me a little bit with that because whenever I go to the store, I have to really watch, what I buy. But the catch is that a lot of the cheaper stuff, like if you go to the regular grocery store and buy healthy stuff, it could end up costing more. And then or even if you just go down the dollar section, you can get like pot pies for $1. If you go to Dollar Tree, you can get pot pies for $1. A lot of things are just $1, but or $1.25, but it may not be as healthy. I mean, or low fat or low carb. I mean, it might be okay if you're like a younger person to have that stuff, but when you get older, you really shouldn't have all those carbs and anything with too much sugar or carbs. Well, we all know what to do. But yeah, so those were the two subjects. In fact, I think I'm going to make some shorter clips on it and see if I get some responses on it. The two big things facing people, like I said, with a good majority now, not overwhelming. It's still more like 60%ish, 60ish plus percentage or more are single, divorce, whatever, alone people versus people that are married. But then a lot of people that are married, I know they have a lot of struggles because I know back when I was selling insurance full time on a commission, called on a lot of married couples and helped them with a little bit with financial planning anyway. And so, of course, that went out the window the day I caught the acting bug in 2003. So between all the acting classes and moving back and forth out to LA and trying to juggle other jobs and careers with it. But back when I did all that full time for quite a long time actually. I was with Prudential for 5 years, and then I went on my own selling home and auto. And actually, I'm still licensed to do all that. I kept my licenses back, got them back, and kept them up. So I'm still might work with another agent doing that. So just for extra money. But that was the other subject is a lot of people are looking for side hustles or part-time jobs or ways to supplement their income. Or, a lot of people maybe get tired of what they're doing and want to do something new or exciting. But I think I always looked for jobs and careers as like a personal fulfillment or like a calling. And I do think that on some level that's kept me younger. And I've been judged a lot for it. I've had people say, oh, you should just stick with this or that. But actually, I just feel that I was called into different jobs and careers, and I helped a lot of people. When I was in insurance, I had to, some older people, I had to deliver some death claims with their life insurance, and talk to some widows and deliver that, or even with news business. I helped a lot of people. I interviewed a lot of different kinds of people, and did cover some local politics on various levels. But I helped a lot of people in that, and even if you're not helping people on a huge grand scale, on a big national level, or like on a big worldwide platform, or you're not like rich and famous or anything, you can get on social media like I've done and help people. And who knows, maybe what you have to say, maybe if you haven't done it yet, maybe whoever you are can get on here. Maybe you can help a lot of people yourself, and maybe, help people just by being a friend to them. I know I have friends on TikTok that just get on there and talk to people. In fact, I should have tried to get on that one right now. Let me see. Well, I have to do that later on my phone, I guess. Yeah, I'm already on YouTube right now, and then to share it. Um, But oh, and then that you can get on this other app. It's called, I think it's called StreamYard, and then you can stream out to different platforms at once. So, but yeah, those are the two main general topics that people are trying to uh, make extra money, and then if they're alone, but also finding your purpose. And your purpose can change in life, because I've listened to a lot of different videos, and I listen to Kyle Cease sometimes, and he talks about that too. A lot of times people's calling in life can change. People are a lot more complicated than you know is sometimes presented by the media. For example, um, we're all not just like, two dimensional, or even three dimensional. Some of us, a lot of us, and maybe everyone at a certain point is complicated and has a lot of different interests. And I think when people don't pursue all their passions and their interests, especially creative ones, as long as it's a productive way, an outlet, that can make people sad or depressed or angry. And I think if more people would learn how to communicate with someone and talk it out instead of just getting angry and doing horrible things or just fighting, like even in the schools when I've subbed, sometimes the kids would, some of the quote unquote rougher schools, or even regular schools or any school, the kids would, get into fist fights and stuff, and they'd have to, be sent to the suspension. I remember one of the schools I subbed at in Dallas. I'm not going to mention the name, but I was really, people would say, why aren't you afraid to sub there? And I said, no, actually, no, because they had a pretty good police presence and security presence. Not only that, they had these former linebackers with the Dallas Cowboys. They were older, retired guys, but they were huge guys, big linebackers. And if you had a problem with some kids and you really felt a little bit scared or threatened, you could just get on the phone and call, uh, dial them in, and they would be right at the door, and they would say, which ones do you want, Miss Tewitt? Just take them, and they take them off to the suspension room. And I guess they got a lot of extra homework and work to do. Um, so yeah, when I was substitute teaching, there'd be a lot of issues too. But basically, I did help a lot of kids. I may do that again. It was kind of a scary situation in Austin one time when I was subbing. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but it was real scary, and they had to call in the SWAT team, and well, a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the world all the time, and not everything gets full news coverage. And once again, you have to remember, I think most people know this by now, most of the news channels are controlled by their advertisers and their owners and whoever really owns them. They're going to try to control the narrative. But you know what? With social media and YouTube being so big now, and TikTok now is really doing a lot, and all the other, even Facebook Live, Instagram Live, all the different outlets now, people are really becoming more aware of everything, and they're realizing you have to consider the source when it comes to news. Consider the source, and a lot of the big media outlets, they do they want to just sell their products and their narrative, or just they want to have, of course, and I understand that they want young people on there. Now, wait a minute. Did my YouTube fall? Oh, here I am. I'm streaming and looking at. I wasn't even looking at the. I was I had it on Twitter and just talking into the great realm. But anyway, sometimes it's better if you don't look at yourself. This is why, especially, it's better if when you're doing taping your own auditions of the on camera ones. It's better when you turn the camera around and act like there's a camera operator on the other side, instead of doing like a selfie video. But anyway, yeah, most people are aware of all this now. I mean, it's the whole internet has really changed so many things, and you've got the citizen journalist of today. The citizen journalists are everywhere, and in a way, that's good though. I mean, people think they're getting away with stuff now, and there's somebody filming them no matter what they're doing now. I mean, there's kids with running around with cameras, and there's adults, and older retired people that are whatever. So there's all kinds of people out there with their video cameras. Basically, usually just their cell phone or maybe their iPad or whatever, and people are more aware now of what's going on. They're aware of the research. A lot of stuff is been declassified. I know that Trump has declassified a lot of stuff um, that opens up a lot of subjects, that things that have been held in the dark for decades. And over the last few years, a lot has come to light. Um, so it's really kind of good in a way, though. But I think maybe people think we've got too many influencers, but some people might want to come, people that know certain things about different things in the world. Maybe they would like to come on social media more too. Just make your own little channel. And, think about it this way, because I really need to get monetized on something here to make extra money, my personal. However, I think about it this way: even if I help one or two people and cheer two or three people up in one day, um, that's something. I mean, maybe I've helped one person feel better that day or just not feel so lonely. It's the same way when I was a substitute teacher. Maybe I have one or two kids that was really depressed or whatever, and then I'd get them to open up and talk, and then maybe call the counselor. The school counselor would come and get them and talk to them and cheer them up or whatever. I mean, you could do that with people at the grocery store. Um, everybody is so, I don't like to use the word paranoid, but they're with for good reason, distrustful. But it's not like in the olden days, like when my grandmother was growing up. Of course, they were in a smaller town, but even then, um, people could be more friendly and get to know people. But you can talk to people no matter where you're at. You don't have to talk about deep subjects. Just talk about something about the price of the food or whatever. You might be helping that person, just get through their day. You do have to be leery, though. And there's so many things you have to be careful of. You have to make sure you have your charge cards, put up and everything. Just have to be so leery. I mean, everything is so, there's so much to worry about now. But you know what? There's always been a lot to worry about. And I think before we were always worried about things because it was all so mysterious. Well, now more and more truth has come out, but the more we know that we don't know about anything. Um, so anyway, so that's about it, I guess. Okay, okay. Well, this is kind of a slow day right now, but maybe they're on YouTube. Well, anyway, so I mean, on Twitter X, but I think I'll end it now. This was kind of a test run for me because I'm not really, like I said, I usually just make little clips and put them up, or sometimes longer clips and put them up. But I'm going to try to do the lives more. I'm going to try to go live more now on YouTube, and I want to learn how to go live on Instagram and maybe go live on TikTok and even Facebook. I did one Facebook live one time, I think a long time ago. Um, but or do learn how to do the multi-streaming. But today I just thought maybe everybody's busy or driving around or stuck in traffic, or maybe my chat is still not totally set up. Let me see. I think it is. No, no, I think it is. It's just a busy time of day, maybe. But people are probably stuck in traffic. But so those are two big subjects that we were going to talk about is but actually it's three subjects. Um, the fact that more and more people are alone now, and but maybe still open to relationship, and also more people are having to do side hustles or looking for better paying jobs or just looking for a job. Period. Have lost their jobs, the whole financial thing, or trying to figure out how to do extra work on the side, like sales, like be in sales, maybe sell advertising or something, which I've done that too. Or and then the third one would be, well, with the first one, it goes along too with not having the money. That goes with along with one or two. Not a lot of people don't have a lot of extra money for fun still, like we used to. Not that a lot of us ever had a lot of money for fun, but people could have a little more fun back in the day, and a lot of people are a little more, challenged by that now. And then the third one is finding your purpose, and your purpose can change in life. You can be called to different have a different purpose in life, but if you can be called to help people in the world, and even in your own community with your friends and your family and your church, your schools, to cheer people up, that's all a purpose too. But with social media, you can just get on, and even if you it takes a long time to get monetized. I haven't gotten monetized on anything yet, but hopefully I will make some extra money at it as I continue with it. It's you know, I like to talk about a lot of different things, and a lot of people, the algorithm is just a computer. It's not a person. Although people like to talk about maybe one thing, but a lot of times people like to, if you have a group setting, like in a chat, people can bring up different subjects and ask questions. That's why I thought since it's Friday, people could just ask different questions. I might try to figure out in the future how to have a line like on my computer where people could call in and talk, and but yeah, if you have thought about making a channel, just get on, because it's not so much about the money or being rich or famous, which would be great, and a lot of us think about that with acting and everything. But it's an outlet, and it's a creative outlet, but it also helps people, and you can help people with your with actually just giving them your company and your time and your energy, and just cheering people up, because there's a lot of lonely people sitting out there. They don't know what to do, and and so, and then if you could have a moment where you're bored or lonely or whatever, and just want to just get on and talk to people and make new friends, because sometimes people too, they stay in their own little circles all their life and they don't branch out. And it's good to branch out to people and make a lot of new friends. And you can make a lot of nice new friends on social media. The catch is that, you have to be careful, make sure they're real people, because, and don't just rely on texting. Make sure that if you want to make a new friend, end up talking to them on the phone. You can oftentimes call them from the direct message, and make new friends, and then get a Zoom meeting. And then if they live in your area, you can meet with them in person. But you have to be really careful. But you can eventually meet people that way. And I've known people that have dated people that met through like Facebook dating, which I need to probably get back on there myself. Um, and I know that I feel like my mother from heaven probably saying, or my grandmother, oh my soul, I can't believe she's on there. She didn't even do her hair or makeup at her age. She shouldn't do that. But we were just out walking earlier. My dog and I were out walking. And when I did the earlier one, he was hungry for his pepperoni treats, you know. And so he was barking a lot until I fed him. And then I just wanted to test this, because with my microphone set up to my computer and do the lives, because I don't do lives that often, and there's a knack to it, and I want to get comfortable doing lives. So anyway, well, I'm going to go ahead and end it now, and then I'll be back another day though. Okay, thanks. Or maybe even later tonight or tomorrow. Okay, All right, guys. Well, have a good one. So those are all things to think about, and then we can get on another day, and you can ask the questions, um, or just reach out to me on social media if you want to talk about some of these different things, and then I can set up another live stream, and we can talk about things. And I would also like to know what other people would like to talk about. You know, and a lot of people are just done on all of it, but we have to be aware and keep up with everything. So, and just keep the lines of communication open with people, and you know, because remember, everybody is kind of getting a slightly different version of everything online. You know, not everybody has the same cookie cutter. You know, they're getting different different avenues of information. You know, so they're, I guess they call it the matrix or whatever. It's like everybody's, so they all have a different opinion, but let's not try to be pea brained and just say, well, if you don't agree with me, then whatever, and just keep your mind in a box like that. Let's think outside the box, and let's ask ourselves, is there even a box? Because I know some one of the acting programs I was in, she would often say that too. I've done so many of them. But anyway, but let's think outside the box and ask ourselves, is there even a box? What, or say what box? I mean, people, let's kind of step outside, and nowadays, as citizen journalists, you can do your own research and get on there and prove everybody wrong. Maybe a lot of things, not only on mainstream but also on independent uh, media. You have to remember, whoever they're getting their information from may not have the whole story either, in fact, or may not be sharing everything, and consider the source of everything. Just, and don't be, why are people taking it all so personal? I mean, if it's about that somebody likes one political thought versus another, I know a lot of it is, important, but you could explain it to people. But yeah, it did, all the stuff that's happened over the last 10 years has brought a lot of people to light, though. It made them realize that basically that my battery's fixing to go out anyway. I was going to have to plug it back in. Basically, with everything going on, they realized that really a lot of times we just don't know for sure what's going on, and but it has shown a side of people that we didn't realize. And you see grown adults, people over 20, over 30, over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70, over 80, whatever, acting like kids, acting like middle schoolers. So that's all. That's just crazy. Just remember your age, and you don't have to act your age all the time. But I don't know. I think in a crazy way, it's like a healing of the planet. It's just been a crazy, crazy world and everything going on, but there's a method to all of it. So